Yeah, look, I'm only here for the T20, so that's as far as my department goes. But from having played here before, the biggest challenge really in playing in India is dealing with the conditions, and that's just not necessarily the wicket. That's the weather. That's amazingly full stadiums, wonderful full press conferences. There's a lot of things you have to deal with, and you always say, oh, well, you deal with the conditions, but Indian conditions are very different. Not just the wicket. There's a whole lot of other. It's a wonderful challenge. Not everybody's had the privilege of whether they've been here with SAA to playing under a full noisy stadium, which we all wake up in the morning to try and do. There's a lot of things off the ball that you need to deal with as well. So I think once you can get your head and your mind around that, it makes playing a little bit easier.
Which is not probably natural.
Yeah, you say that. He was man of the match in the Mzansi final, Temba Bavuma. So it's easy to pigeonhole him and say, okay, well, he plays Test cricket, but Temba's a wonderful all-round cricketer. I think, yes, he has to maybe learn a couple of options, which we're probably trying to get our teeth into. And that really is it. I think maybe he's not the biggest guy that can't muscle the ball over the fence, but there's different ways of doing it. So that's just about us giving him that option. I'm uncomfortable just saying he's a red ball cricketer. He's a serious. I think he's played 2 ODIs with 100 and a 50. So he's a good cricketer that just needs that opportunity, and he'll certainly get this opportunity in this on this tour. And I think he's ready. I think he's ready to make that transition into being somebody in the engine room there that can be good at rotating strike and have good plans, and others, hitters like Dave and Dwayne and Andile, some of the biggest hitters on the planet that can bat around somebody like that.
So how do you see them?
Yeah, well, it's looking at that team, it's an area that we're going to look to take advantage of. Just like I suppose you look at the opposing teams and areas where you think you can take advantage. Sure. It is something we're going to look to take advantage of. They're great cricketers, we know that. We're not taking anything away from that. But our focus is going to be on ourselves and little areas where we think we can take advantage. And maybe that's one of them. It's a tough one. I think the game has changed a lot since when we played, and it's very tough to even. I think it's unfair to. I think you've got to be careful to compare, sort of even decades apart, really. But the standard of all-rounders is amazing. Ben Stokes is on fire. Pandya's right up there. So we've got some young all-rounders in our team as well who potentially can, be in the top 5 in the world in the next year or so. So it's nice to see, that the questions a few years ago was there's a lot of spinning all-rounders. Now there's a couple of seam bowling all-rounders out there, which is great to see as well.